When buying a home in Miami, everybody thinks it's too expensive. But what I'm going to do in today's video is I'm actually going to break down what your payment actually will cost you on a monthly basis when buying a home in Miami, Florida. Here we go. So I want to start off with the median sales price. The median sales price as of July 2025 is approximately $590,000. We're going to whiteboard this, $590,000, okay? And for the purposes of today's video, what we're going to do is we're going to look at an FHA loan. And we're going to look at an FHA loan with 3.5% down, okay? So if you were to put down or purchase a home, I should say, for $590,000, your base loan amount will be $569,350, okay? Now, this is your base loan amount. I'll get to PMI in just a quick second. Now, if we factor that base loan amount of $569,350 at a rate based on today of roughly somewhere around 6%, so 6%, okay? So you take it by the interest rate of 6%, you're looking at an estimated monthly principal and interest payment of $3,413.54. When you're factoring in your mortgage payment, you don't just want to take a look at the actual mortgage payment for what it is. That's important. But there's other factors that are going to play a role into your mortgage payment. Now, we're going to have things like private mortgage insurance. Now, with an FHA loan, private mortgage insurance you have to pay for in two separate entities. You have to pay an upfront private mortgage insurance premium. Now, this can be financed into your loan. And FHA sets that upfront mortgage insurance premium at a 1.75%. It's a hard number. It's determined by HUD. Everybody pays the same, okay? However, you can roll that into your loan amount if you'd like. You also have to pay a monthly mortgage insurance premium. Now, that monthly mortgage insurance premium is calculated based on a 0.55% annual premium per year divided by 12. So here's the way that works. So you would take your $569,350 times 0.0055. That gives us an annual amount of $3,131.42. Divide that number by 12, and you get a monthly payment of $260.95. The other factor you want to consider is property taxes. Property taxes on this type of price point will run you somewhere between, I'd say, $7,000 to $10,000 per year. For the purposes of the video, we're going to use about $8,000 a year in property taxes. Now, understand that when you're looking at payments, you always want to have a range in your mind of what your payment's going to be, and I'll touch on that, as soon as we're done. But if we take the $8,000 and divide that by 12, we get $666.67 for taxes, okay? Now, you're going to have things like homeowners insurance. You're going to have homeowners insurance and flood insurance. Now, some areas in Miami-Dade County will not require you to have flood insurance. However, some will, and it's important to understand what those costs are, okay? So for homeowners insurance, you're going to be looking at, could be anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000 a year for homeowners insurance, depending on what that home physically has. We're going to look at the roof, we're going to look at the impact windows, we're going to look at everything that this house has and it's going to determine your premium. Actually, I should say we won't, but your insurance company will. So assume that your homeowner's insurance is, let's say, $4,000 a year, okay? That's going to be $4,000 divided by 12, which is going to be about $350 a month for homeowner's insurance. Okay. If you need flood insurance, figure flood insurance may cost you another $1,500 to $2,000 a year. So if we take the middle of that and kind of say $1,800 just for the purposes of math, right? That's another $150 a month. Okay. Take these numbers and we add them all together. We get $3,413.54 plus $260.95 plus $666.67. plus $350 plus $150. So that's going to give us a total estimated monthly payment using these figures of $4,841.16. When I estimate payment and I talk to individual home buyers, I'm telling them this. I'm saying, listen, your payment should range between, I'd say, $4,700 and maybe $5,000 a month, depending on the insurances, depending on if there's an HOA, depending on how the property taxes look. So one of the things I'll tell you is, as a home buyer, is when you're asking your lender what you're qualified for, your lender needs to tell you two things. Number one is they need to tell you what your maximum payment that you're qualified to. Okay? Because one of the things that you may tell your lender is, hey, I don't want to pay a payment that high. And that's okay. You will have to kind of work through your comfortability in your payment, what that gets you. And there's always going to be a trade-off. It's the type of home every payment's going to get you. But you don't want to fall in love with a house and then realize it might be $50 or $60 a month over budget, and then realize that I don't even want to go look at it. You know, we could kind of tweak a couple of things. And your lender should be really reviewing payments on every property that you're looking at to give you the peace of mind of knowing what that estimated payment on that property is going to be in case it isn't in a flood zone, it doesn't have an HOA, or even vice versa, or if it is in a flood zone and does have an HOA. So these are all important things to understand when you're purchasing a home, not only in Miami, but anywhere you buy a home. You want to have an idea of what your estimated payments are going to be so you know what your affordability is going to look like. If you have any questions on any of these numbers, how we got to them, or how they work, give me a call. I'm at 954-369-6171. Let's get you squared away, and let's actually give you the knowledge so you can shop with confidence. And when you go to make your offer, you can stand behind that offer because you already know what your estimated payments are. Looking forward to talking to you. Let's talk again soon. Have a good one.